Okay, so now that you have read 38 Who Saw Murder and Didn't Call the Police and listened to the audio of the reading, what you'll be doing next is Blogamania 1, Cause and Effect. And so before attempting the assignment, you should read Chapter 11, which talks about cause and effect. This begins on page 245 to 258 in English Skills with Readings. So what you'll do is read the following news article of a young woman who was brutally murdered while 38 people watched and did nothing. And so you've already done that. And then next, you'll begin your writing. So you will write your response according to the directions below. And then click into the Blogamania and post your blog according to the instructions given below by your instructor. Now that you have read the story, 38 Who Saw Murder Didn't Call the Police, as we did in our pre-writing activities in week 1, make pre-writing preparations by filling in the outline below. And then in paragraph form, write a topic sentence that mentions the full name of the author, the name of the writing above in quotation marks, and the 3 most egregious reasons the onlookers gave for not helping Miss Kitty Genovese. Then write a sentence that explains the first excuse given by the onlookers and what was taking place when each onlooker ignored Kitty Genovese's cries for help. Then explain the responsibility to society that the onlooker ignored by giving the excuse and the effect on Miss Kitty Genovese and society. Then write a sentence that explains the second excuse given by the onlookers and what was taking place when each onlooker ignored Kitty Genovese's cries for help. Then explain the responsibility to society that the onlooker ignored by giving the excuse and the effect on Kitty Genovese and society. Then write a sentence that explains the third excuse given by the onlookers and what was taking place when each onlooker ignored Kitty Genovese's cries for help. Then explain the responsibility to society that the onlooker ignored by giving the excuse and the effect on Kitty Genovese and society. Your final statement should restate your topic sentence, what happened to Miss Genovese, and the importance of helping others in our society. So looking at the information below, you'll see that your outline for the paragraph will look like the one that follows. So you will first give your topic sentence. This topic sentence should state the full name of the writer, the name of the essay in quotation marks, and the 3 reasons given by the onlookers. Then you'll follow a standard paragraph structure. You'll have your major detail 1. This comes from the topic sentence. It's the first reason that you give in the topic sentence. It is reason 1. You will name and discuss, and it will begin with the transition first. It should be a complete sentence. Then you'll give what's called a minor detail. So this will be minor detail 1. The reason that it's called a minor detail is because it supports the first major detail. That first major detail comes from the topic sentence. The minor detail, and sometimes we get this confused, but the minor detail is always a more specific explanation or example. So you will give minor detail 1 after that first major detail, reason 1. It will be very specific, and it will explain the responsibility ignored and the significance, the effect, what happened to Miss Kitty. It will begin with the transition, for example. Then you will go to the next sentence. The next sentence will be major detail 2. It is reason 2 that you give in the topic sentence. These have to be in order. It will be named and discussed. It begins with the transition second. Then your next sentence will be a minor detail 2. It explains major detail 2. It is very specific, and it begins with to illustrate. It will discuss the responsibility ignored and the significance of what happened to Miss Kitty Genovese because that responsibility was ignored. Then you will give major detail 3. This also comes from the topic sentence. It is reason 3 that you give in the topic sentence that one of the onlookers would not help Miss Kitty Genovese. You name it, and then you discuss it. It begins with the transition, finally. Then you will give the minor detail 3. Remember that minor detail 3 is very specific. It explains in detail what was taking place with Miss Kitty Genovese as this onlooker gives this reason and does not help her. It discusses the responsibility ignored and the significance, the effect of what happened to Miss Kitty Genovese because this onlooker chose to ignore what was happening to her. It will begin with the transition, for instance. Then your final sentence will simply repeat the topic sentence. The reason that it repeats the topic sentence is because it gives the full name of the writer again, it gives the name of the essay in quotation marks, and then it also gives the 3 reasons that the onlookers gave for not helping Miss Kitty Genovese. This closes out the paragraph completely. Then you give, once again, the relevance of their inaction. What does this mean for everyone else if we have people who, when they see or hear a violent crime taking place, they refuse to help that person by calling authorities? Doesn't mean that anyone has to go out and risk their own lives if they're incapable of being able to end this attack, but it does mean that we do all have a responsibility to each other in society. There's not one person in this reader who, if the same thing had been happening to him or her, would not have wanted someone to call authorities for them. And it's the same with us. If someone were attacking us in some way, or someone whom we love, then we would want someone to at least call authorities to come and help them. Because of the Kitty Genovese story and the horrific events that took place that ended her life, if anyone now chooses not to call to help someone, chooses not to call authorities to come and help someone, there is a law that makes that person or those people an accomplice to the crime. Now, once you have completed your blog, you receive 80 points for your submission. Then what you will want to do is to read all of the other blogs of your peers and respond to at least one other peer student's comments by saying that you agree or disagree, and several sentences that respectfully discuss the reason for your agreement or disagreement. And you will receive 20 points for that, which totals the 100 points that you can receive for the assignment. We can always disagree as long as we do so respectfully. Okay, so if you disagree with someone, then it must be done respectfully. And if that person responds to you, then that also must be done respectfully. All right, so I look forward to reading your responses. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.